Welcome back to the Brennan T. Adams audio experience. I'm Brennan T. Adams. I am sitting here with Griffin Pinkow, the Foreseeable Future Foundation, and a friend of mine. We've known each other for a few years. We actually live close to each other. We do regular coffee meetups, and it's really cool what you're doing, Griffin. Everything with helping the blind community have cool experiences, literally doing things that I would not do. And it's just really inspiring. We're going to dive into that today. Kevin and I recently joined the foundation, being on the board, which I'm just super honored and grateful to be a part of. So go back. Like, when was it? How old were you when you first lost your eyesight? And then just talk about that journey leading up to the Foreseeable Future Foundation.
Oh, geez, that's a long story, Brandon.
Yeah, I know. We're here. Let's do it.
So it was interesting. When I was younger, we go trick-or-treating, and I'd say, I can't really see. I can't. And my parents would say, well, you're not really out that much. We didn't realize that I was night blind. Yeah. And I couldn't see in low vision. So that was the first instance to something's going on, but we kind of dismissed it. We let it go. And then when we moved to California, I made a travel baseball team. And one day I was in the outfield and I'm like, wait a second, I can't track the ball. I can't see the ball off the bat. And, running around and thought, okay, well, you just need glasses. Well, I got glasses, and someone who has my visual impairment, you can see the negative contrast better, which we had no idea about. And our next game was at night, a white ball with a black sky. I did fantastic. The next day at practice, I said, I can't see anything again. So that was the first instance to, wow, something's really wrong here and we need to figure this out. We went to doctors all over the country, finally diagnosed with retinitis pigmentosa, and they said, get a cane, get a dog, go home. And that was, devastating for anyone, but I didn't take that reaction of, why me, or, this is, of course it was horrible, but I thought, well, I have to, just keep moving. And that attitude I take now, and that's kind of how, from losing vision to overcoming it to dealing with it, realizing I couldn't really change the vision impairment, but I could change a lot of other things and bring awareness. And that kind of eventually got me to Foreseeable Future Foundation and helping the community that I'm a part of.
So give in a nutshell, for somebody that's never seen anything about the Foreseeable Future Foundation, what are some of the initiatives, things you guys are doing, which is pretty awesome?
Yeah, so Foreseeable Future Foundation, I took my love for sports and now do it for others. So we help the visually impaired and blind through sports and recreation. We send kids to do opportunities they would never be able to do. A lot of the people we support or we help don't come from the best background. They can go skiing. So they get to go travel on a plane, they get to go skiing, they get to be in a safe environment with their peers, learn life skills. We've sent people to different ranch experiences, and they get to feel, visually impaired and blind individuals get to feel what it's like having the wind on your face when you're riding a horse and doing all these activities that they never thought they could ever do, and just seeing that light bulb go off in their head, Brandon, of, wait, I can do this, I can do anything, is really cool, and that's kind of a part of it.
You're instilling confidence and hope, which allows them to go beyond the experiences they have. It goes into their everyday life, their professional life, their business.
Exactly, Brandon. Which I didn't realize, that was what I was doing. Honestly, it was like, my goal is to help people. I want to help people. I want to make sure that they don't feel left out, or that they don't feel like they're an alien and no one else understands what they're going through, and how we can do that through the power of sports and recreation. But it's helped way beyond just doing the activities that we provide for them.
I know you've helped so many people. Can you share just a couple first-hand stories of people that went through, whether it is a horse riding experience that really kind of changed their life?
Yeah, so there was one, a boy, he didn't want to talk, wasn't really engaged in anything we were doing, and we finally got him fly fishing, and he caught a fish. He was the only person who caught a fish. Yeah. After he did that, Brandon, it's like a switch went off. He's smiling ear to ear, wouldn't stop talking, couldn't stop. Then after the experience, I found out that he got into music, and now he plays in a band, and that's what he wants to do as a career. But if he didn't have that experience with us, would he come out of his show? Would he know he could do anything? I don't know where he'd be today, honestly. So that's one instance. Another one quickly at one of our ranches, which was really cool for me to experience. We had a boy who didn't really want to climb the rock wall that was 100 feet, and we ended up getting him to climb. And he got to the top, and he let out like a Tarzan sort of roar, like I accomplished, I'm on top of the world, I did this. And he came back down, and he said, I'm so happy I did that. And we said, yes, it's great. And he said, but I didn't tell you. And we're like, tell us what? He's like, I'm afraid of heights. And we're like, wait a second. You didn't tell us that you were afraid. He said, well, I felt safe. I felt like I was in the right environment. I had my friends encouraging me. I felt safe from the instructor, and I wanted to face my fear.
Yeah.
So those sorts of things have really shown me that, we're making a difference in these individuals' lives, whether young adults, kids, veterans that we help through these programs and things that we offer. And then also changing the perspective for the sighted community, because they might be at a ranch or an activity or program we're doing as well, and they think, you don't know what you don't know, but the poor blind person, they can't do anything. How are they going to do this? Oh my God. And after they're in that environment, they see, okay, they might need some tools, or they might need X, Y, and Z to be able to do it. And they might be comfortable me asking questions, or they might tell me, I don't want to answer that right now, but they're like a person like anyone else. We're breaking down, I think, those barriers as well through what we've been able to do with Foreseeable.
Okay, so we were talking the other day. I can't remember the name of it, but you were explaining different sports. I think, was it dodgeball that you were explaining?
Goalball.
Goalball. Can you explain just how that works in the game? Because it's very interesting to me. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, it's wild. You can adapt any sport for this community, but so you have a court that's very tactile. There's 3 players. Everyone's blindfolded, so you're all on the same playing field. You have different shin pads and different pads on, and you're lined up in kind of a triangle. And the ball's big and pretty heavy, and it makes noise. And the crowd has to be quiet, and your whole goal is to try to get the ball into the goal. So it's kind of like a dodgeball sort of set up, but it's, you have these guys and girls throwing this ball at 50, 60 miles an hour, and you have to get in front of it and try to block them from scoring. It's pretty intense and interesting. And I mean, not just goalball, we have blind hockey, blind baseball, anything you can think of, we've been able to do and offer and adapt for this community. I have friends that have tried to get me to play all those sports, and I don't know if I do a couple of them, but we'll see. We'll see. I had a group of kids at a camp we did. They made me play blind baseball, even though I wasn't too excited about it, because I didn't know how it was going to go and how I was going to do it, and the kids pushed me to do it, and I'm glad they did.
So this is just an amazing foundation, everything you're doing, and people that are listening to this or watching, you can make a donation towards this cause, which you just talk about some of the initiatives that money goes towards to help support the blind community.
Yeah, so it helps, one, being able to provide equipment and travel, lodging for these athletes that we support to be able to pursue their activity, whether it's running a marathon, tandem cycling, making a national, blind hockey team, doing those sorts of things, providing equipment for the activities to actually happen. So we provided jerseys, sticks, any equipment you can think of that needs to be adapted for this community. We offer the ranch experiences, so we pay for these kids to be able, and young adults, to go and experience anything and everything at a ranch, and paying for the instructors and the training. So then someone at a ranch that doesn't work with this community has the tools on how to make sure everyone's successful and safe. So we provide a lot of different opportunities through our programs that can support directly to the visually impaired and blind. That's the one part of starting Foreseeable Future, is helping this community and these individuals in their day-to-day life, and how we can make them a better person, individual, through the sports and recreation component by providing those opportunities to them.
So Griffin, I want you to think about here, I want you to give advice. So if there's somebody, whether they're watching and they're eventually they're on the pathway, they may be going blind, or they're listening and maybe they're struggling with just everyday things. What is your advice to inspire them, to give them the best kind of guidance to live the most fulfilled life in their own way?
It's funny, Brandon, because when I was younger, I think I was wrestling with it more. Of course, it's devastating being diagnosed with something like this, not understanding, everyone else really not understanding, and trying to get everyone to figure it out, including myself. So, it's, what would you say to, 12, 13, 14-year-old Griffin? It was challenging at the time, but I would say embrace it sooner. And when I mean that, embrace the technology. At a younger age, I didn't want to use a cane, because I thought that made me different and that would make me stand out more, not realizing, oh wait, that's going to help you navigate easier and get around easier. So, talking about it more instead of, maybe doing things that weren't as healthy as they should have, compared to talking about it and bringing education and awareness, and then looking for the resources. I didn't know about adaptive sports when I was a kid or a young adult. So I'd say just embrace it earlier if you can, once you've come to the point of, I can't change this. I can change my attitude, my perspective, maybe my workout regimens, maybe being willing to talk more about it and doing those things, I think would help someone. And just realizing that if, finding someone that you can talk to that might have gone through the same things when I was younger, or even now, finding someone and say, okay, I ran into a wall because I couldn't see X, Y, and Z. Oh, wait, I did too. Okay, that happened to you. This is what I did, and this is how I dealt with it. So I think those are the things that I would give advice to if someone's going on this journey. It's not easy. It's not fun. But if you can overcome it and realize, I can't change it, but what else can I change? And have a fruitful, enjoyable life with the support and resources, then I'll be fine.
That's so powerful. You inspire me. You do more, like you're jumping out of airplanes, you're doing all kinds of experience, you're doing boxing, like you do more than I do. And it's just like, it's insane that you take on all this with such a great attitude, but you're thriving with everything, with the foundation in your life. And we're going to wrap up here, but I want to share, you have a gala that you do every single year where you raise money for this cause. Talk about that, and anybody that actually potentially wants to get involved with that, how can they?
Sure. So we do we do events and different things throughout the year, different fundraisers. People can donate online whenever they'd like to support our mission. But we have an incredible gala. We say it's not a rubber chicken dinner. It's the food's incredible, the drinks are incredible, and it's just a fun party and celebration. It's once again, we focus on a cause that can be pretty heavy, but we do it in a fun way where we're just celebrating the organization, we're celebrating these people and what they've done and how we've helped them. So it's just a fun party. We do it every year. Next year it's going to be June 9th in New York City, down in Tribeca. If people can make it, they can support, and it goes to our overall programs and mission. But we do other things throughout the year in different local communities as well. So there's a lot of ways people can get involved. But the gala is very special. We have 400 to 600 people. We raise a lot of money, and it's just a fun community event. We've had a lot of people through the visually impaired and blind community that have said, I don't think we've been to any other event where you have as many people here from the community you're trying to help and support. So that's what's special about it.
I want to acknowledge you for how big of a badass you are. All the cool things
Thanks,
you're
Brandon.
doing.
We're going to get you on a tandem, buddy. We're going to get you skydiving.
I'm not going to skydive, though. I'm sorry. I'm going to keep that to you. But for anybody that is listening or watching right now, where can they learn more about you? Where's your website?
So it's foreseeablefuture.org. We're on Instagram, Facebook, everywhere else. But on our website, we have our newsletter. So if people want to know what I'm up to or the foundation's up to, they can do it through there and through our social media channels. And that's where everyone can find us or reach out. We're pretty accessible.
Thank you. And for all of you watching, listening, I'm here to support Griffin for everything he's doing. Feel free to reach out to me, and I'm here to support. I'm sure we'll have many fun events ahead.
Totally.
And as always, go out there, create something great, and become unforgettable, because life is too short not to. I'm Brandon T. Adams. Have a great day, everyone.